Hey there guys, and welcome back. On this week's show, some JessEm Clear Cut table saw stock guides. Well, on my JessEm router table, I have stock guides, and these things have been absolutely incredible. They're angled ever so slightly in to drag your stock into the fence, and they have some nice grip wheels that are adjustable and give great downward pressure. It acts as both a hold down and a feather board all in one shot. And I thought that I would pick up a set for my table saw. And that's what I'm going to install with you today to give you a glimpse of what you'd be looking at. So let's head over to the bench and see what comes in the original packaging. Well, this arrived in my mailbox the other day, and it is model 04301, the JessEm Clear Cut Table Saw Stock Guides. And inside the box, when you crack it open, you'll get a full set of instructions, both installation and use. You get a track bar that runs along your table saw that your guides will mount to. You'll get a little care package here that includes a torque wrench along with Allen keys, nuts and bolts, and all the associated hardware that you require. I believe it even comes with the drill bit you need. As well, it comes with, because it would be pretty useless without it, 2 of these table saw stock guides that will run and mount on the track. So the thing is though, is that in order to mount this, you need to drill holes in your table saw fence. And it has on the track, it has 3 different sets of holes, and each one has an individual and different purpose. The larger countersunk hole right here, these are for the 1/4 20 low head cap screws that come with the jig. The middle one, this countersunk one here in the middle, these are for a number 10 self-tapping Torx drive screw. And then these last ones here, these are actually guide holes that you'll use for drilling the pilot holes for the self-tapping screws. So basically, those are the 3 holes that you're going to need to be aware of in order to drill the holes in your table saw fence. You would use the pilot hole bit here to drill your holes after clamping down your track where you want it, and then drill them and then insert the appropriate screws for whatever method it is that you're using. However, I don't want to mount it to my table saw fence. The reason being, I have other jigs that run on that fence. So I need this to be a temporary setup where I can remove it and reinstall it quickly and easily whenever I feel like it. And that is what I'm going to demonstrate today. So let's get into it, and it all starts off with a piece of plywood. So the piece of plywood I'm going to need is 3/4 of an inch thick. I've cut it to the length of my table saw fence, which in this case is 34 3/4. And I have cut it so that it fits snugly right there, right in between the 2 outer surface boards of my table saw fence. And this now is going to be kind of like a fake table saw fence. And this is what we're going to mount our track on. So we can head over to the bench and start laying out the holes for our installation. Now, most table saws are roughly 27 inches from the front to the back of them when you're standing in front of them. Now, our fence usually overhangs our table saw, and that's what we want our track to do here. We want it to overhang by 1.5 inches of either side of our table saw. And that will maximize the travel of the stock guides. So what I'm going to do first on our plywood here, I'm going to mark out the area that would be represented by our table saw I've already got a mark there for that one. Perfect. And what I'm going to do is just square this off, just lightly, and then we'll lay our track in place. And what we want to do is get it to overhang those lines that we just drew. We want to get it to overhang by 1.5 inches on either side. So we'll just place it roughly here. It doesn't have to be exact at this point. So what I'm going to do now is I want to center it left to right. I have my position front to back with the 1.5 inch overhang there. And because I'm going into plywood, I don't have to follow the normal mounting procedure of shifting this by 1/2 inch and drilling out the pilot holes and then shifting it back, etc., etc. All I can do is center it where I need it, clamp it down into place, and I'm going to use some number 8 by 3/4 inch screws and screw this track down to our plywood. Now what I want to do is centered on our width here, 1.25 inches in from the end, right there, centered on both sides, both this end and this one. I want to drill a 1 5/8 inch diameter hole. Well, at this point in time now, you can mount your stock guides onto your track. And you just loosen your front and rear set knobs here and slide it into the T-track. There we go, just like that. Okay, so now you may be wondering what these big old 1 5/8 inch holes are for. And what they're for is they are going to accept these, one on each end. And what that is a mag switch. And if you've never seen or never used a mag switch, you are denying yourself. Pricey? Yes, they are. But I absolutely love them when it comes to jigs and that sort of thing, and they're really handy in the shop. So I always add 1 or 2 of them to my birthday or Christmas wish, and if I'm lucky, Santa brings me one. So either way, what I'm going to do is I've got this mag switch here in the front, and I've got one at the back, depending on how you're looking at it, and I'm going to use some number 8 screws, and we're going to screw them down to our plywood assembly. And now we can head over to the table saw. So all we need to do at this point is place our plywood in between those table saw rails, line it up with the ends of our fence, and to lock it down, the mag switches will do their job. It's just a 1/4 turn to unlock it, or another 1/4 turn clockwise to lock it. And the thing with these mag switches, guys, is don't leave them engaged when you're not using them. So with that now, we need to adjust our arms here now that we have it set up. It's different for every table saw, so you're going to want to do it for your particular table saw. We can see here that this is just too far of an angle and it doesn't touch the table saw here. So the length of our arm needs to be adjusted. Well, because I have raised it up by 3/4 inch, my arms are not long enough. The optimum angle here that is recommended is roughly 30 degrees. So what you need to do is, I've set a protractor here. You don't have to be this accurate. This is just mine, because the angle is going to change depending on the stock that you use. but I want to set it here at roughly 30 degrees. There we go. Just like that. And what I'm going to do is with the Allen key provided, I'm going to remove these Allen bolts here. They hold the arm to their length. And what will happen after that is I can extend this arm down to touch the table saw. So I will pick whatever holes are the closest to what I need, and it looks like it's going to be the third ones down. And once I get it lined up, I'll replace these cap bolts here and tighten them with the hex key. And there you go, that's that one. Adjust it for the length. And it will be roughly 30 degrees from the surface of the table. Just like that. And we can check that. It's not going to be exact, but you know what? It's pretty darn close there, isn't it? So I can do the other one in the exact same manner. They're milled exactly the same. So I don't even have to use the angle protractor. All I really need to do here is move it down to the third hole down along in the assembly. It will be different for yours depending on how you decide to mount it. They are shipped in the position of the most common table saw fences if you were to mount it directly to the fence. But because I'm using mag switches, I have to adjust mine. Well, how do you use these stock guides? Well, for starters, you need to set the height as well as the distance from the fence. And you can do that with this knob here. But as far as the positions of these goes, you're going to want one before the blade and one of these after the blade. So we'll just place one here, just like this, and we'll place the other one, let's just say here. Now, in order to set the height of your guides, you just loosen this knob and they very easily move. They will slide in and out from the fence, depending on if you want them close or farther away. And what you want to do is take your stock, in this case 1/2 inch plywood, and lower your arm so that the body of the stock guide is sitting on your stock, not the rubber tires. You want the body of it just to sit there. You don't have to push down, you don't have to give any extra pressure. Just do that and then tighten your set knob over here. And we'll do the same thing in the front. You can just loosen it, it drops down to your stock, and let it go. And what that does is it sets it so that these things are spring loaded. So it sets it so there's just the right amount of pressure to feed your stock. And as that goes in now, those wheels are directional. So it doesn't move backwards. And then on the outside, or the outfeed side, of course, there you go. You saw the pressure grab it. This one released. And then as it comes out the end, that will release as well. Now, these things are on an inward angle towards the fence. So what they do is they drag the stock towards the fence. So if I start this out here away from the fence, it has now effectively pulled it into the fence. So there you go. That is basically how they work. But what about when you're not using them? Are they going to get in your way? Well, one of the cool things that I like about this is the fact that when they're not being used, you can lift them up and slide them over to the side just like this. And that will get them completely out of your way. You're going to need at least 13/16 of an inch clearance from the edge of your fence to the edge of your rail in order to give yourself good clearance there when you're running stock without these guides. But I would just lift it up over our set knob, bring it in all the way, and lock it down, and now it's actually recessed behind. And we can do the same thing with this. It's just as quick as that, and they're out of your way to run along the surface. What if I want to use my frame spline jig, which actually fits right down over top of this? The mag switch makes this simple. It's a matter of click, click, and then lift the stock guide out and you're done. That is it. Simple as that. Not exactly the way they say to mount it, but it's the way that works the best for me and my applications. And there you have it. The JessEm Clear Cut Table Saw Stock Guides. Guys, I've been a fan of JessEm for quite some time. They were always a little out of my price range, and I was able to sort of nip a little bit here and tuck a little bit there and put away some money and got myself, of course, my router table, which I love, and I have several other things from them as well. But I've always noticed a very high quality in their product, and these stock guides for the table saw did not disappoint me so far. They are just as high quality and just as solid feeling as everything else I've ever gotten from them. Now, the installation that I've done here today is not the way that they recommend it being done in the manual. And that's okay, because they've actually allowed for that with the adjustable arms. That is why I had to lengthen my arms by the 3 notches. You can extend it longer if you want, so depending on how high your fence is and how you end up installing it, it's 100% up to you. Now, you may not have jigs for your table saw fence like what I do. And it wasn't that long ago on the show that we made my table saw frame spline jig. Now that rides right on top of my table saw, and that is a regularly used jig here in my shop. So I didn't want to have it so that I would have to unscrew everything and take it off and then reinstall it. Hence the mag switch. Guys, these mag switches are handy and they're absolutely irreplaceable for something like this. I mean, I guess I could clamp it down with some spray or some quick grips or something, but honestly, this is so much faster, so much easier, and no matter how you look at it, these stock guides are a safety feature. I've always said that if safety features are easy to use and easily accessible, then you're going to use them more so than if they're a pain in the butt. And these mag switches make this thing completely like flawless. It's just click, click, done. And I think it's going to go really well here in the shop, and I'm really looking forward to putting it through its paces so that, you know, down the road I can give you guys a fair review after I've had a chance to use it. Guys, this is one of those videos that may not be for all of you. Of course, not all of you would have an interest in these stock guides. Not all of you would have a table saw where you'd want to install these stock guides on. And for some of you, you may not be a fan of JessEm. That's all completely up to you. So what do you take away from that if this JessEm thing is not your style? What you take away from that is, just because you're told that you have to screw this thing directly to your fence, drill it and screw it in, basically you're not tied to that with just a little bit of ingenuity and a little bit of a thought process on an alternate way to do it. And that's the sort of thing I'm always promoting here on the show, is that look at what I have shown you how I do it and make it your own, whether it be by doing it a little differently or completely doing a 180 and doing the opposite of what I do. Either way, make it your own. If you haven't already, guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Click that bell so that you don't miss the notifications of future episodes of the show. This is what I've been looking forward to for a while. I can't wait to put these things into action. I hope you've enjoyed today's show. I hope you've enjoyed or at least been entertained by it a little. And more importantly, guys, I honestly hope you're going to join me again next week when I bring you yet another Alternative Tuesdays.